up, misfits and all, to another episode of Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny November, where we Thanks-Ember, the show where we ask our supporters to ask us anything or say something funny with the chance for you to give us our best one-liner. You can send live questions and jokes to us via Super Chat, channel membership, or Patreon support. Though every viewer and subscriber is welcome to join in. So won't you join James W. and myself, A.B. Newman, for some fun around the dinner table.
So
that's right.
Put that question in a super chat, and we'll be happy to entertain it. But this show, we only answer questions from our supporters.
Though, if you are a Patreon or a channel member, we'll also be happy to automatically take it. And if you are a creationist, we probably can't help ourselves. But we'll just be saying that from up in here. What is up, one and all? Sending love. I can see out there Michael Smith, God equals the square root of -1, and Baldhead, Khaleesi, Christian, Beamsy, and Killdoggy, and Shane Bilowitz, and Andrew, and the Sinister Porpoise, and Dave Gar, and everyone out there on the interwebs, because this is a live show. In fact, we hope you don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And when you hit that bell icon, it will send you reminders to see our premieres or join our live shows. Like, what is up, everyone? Right. We hope you are having a fantastic November.
We don't know about you.
Woohoo! We hope you either had a good Thanksgiving, or if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, that you just had a good Thursday. Woo! What's up, Rachel? And we are just getting started. I see someone trolling Godwin's Law in chat.
Yeah, that's why I say put that in the super chat, and then we'll
exactly.
We'll be happy to entertain that one. $5 and up for that one.
Exactly. That's the
$2
unfortunately
one that break.
That's the limit that Soros puts on it, so
it's because of the exchange rate with the shekels. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
It's the lowest amount that the Galactic Federation will convert from shekels into blah, 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 which is a strong currency right now. You wouldn't think.
The lizard hands, how they're able to pick up, it has to be a certain right size. Otherwise, it just doesn't fit their hand right.
Oh, yeah. James, do I know that problem?
The girth, Amy, like a Coke bottle, like that. Yeah. Kind of reminds you of when you're holding on something else, right?
Exactly. Or as we call them here, Tuesdays. But also, we don't do Thursdays. That's
Ruby
right.
Tuesday?
Ruby Tuesday. I once looked at, this is so random, but like of all the Americana's foods, Ruby Tuesdays is surprisingly more fattening than a lot of them. I don't know why. I looked on the back of like the calorie content for Ruby Tuesdays once, and it was just like, really?
Yeah.
They had like a light menu, and then the rest was just diabetes. But it all tastes good. I mean, for baby back ribs, I'll do what it takes.
Take one for the team.
Take one for the team. But yes, speaking of which, we'll just keep on doing. We'll have to, might as well send our shout outs while we're waiting for more to come in. Also, that's what he or she said. But this entire show, the channel, the everything is sponsored by all of the super chats that you all sent in, all of our channel members with our evolving badge system down below. We had the Surgeon General join last stream, and we had, I think their name was S, but now it's blank. So we had joined, and I just want to say thank you. It's an honor to have you. Yeah.
It was an honor to be part of that debate that Amy did on Discord.
Oh my goodness! I think we both, you and I, just kind of took like a mental break of holiday sorts. But that debate with KJV, that was fun. That was interesting. I knew that it was going to be just a debate where it was just like, is this microphone on? Okay, yeah, just talk.
Mr. Amy Newman. That was like, she wasn't, it was just making a point to Mr. Amy Newman, you old geezer, you. You want to fuck the boys, Mr. Amy Newman.
I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do when you're countering religion? Oh, no, that's the religion. No.
You cannot have a baby, Mr. Amy Newman.
Yes, but you know what you can do? Try.
Isn't that right? Cannot even get wet, Mr. Amy Newman. You do not have the right plumbing for that, Mr. Amy Newman. And then God said, let there be lube, right? There you go. Problem solved.
Exactly.
Yeah, anyway.
I always like to say that I might not be able to get pregnant, but gosh darn it, we should keep on trying.
She is persistent about it. She is not going to give up.
That's right. As James Wolfe would remind us all, we are the synagogue of Satan. I feel like that's a fantastic bumper sticker. I don't want to say celebrate, not I worship.
The synagogue of Satan.
I partake in the synagogue of Satan. I can't help myself.
Mr. Amy Newman, Mr. Baldhead.
Yes. Sending love, Mr. Baldhead. This very specific show, the only comments that we show on screen are from Super Chats, channel members, and Patreons. However, we'll just keep on talking with you because this is for subscribers, viewers, anybody that's in the line at Taco Bell.
The people down in hell watching on the Jumbotron.
Yes, we, James and myself, actually share an apartment with Gilbert Godfrey in hell.
Probably Bob Saget, too.
Probably. I think Bob Saget moonlights. I'd only pay you to show. Okay. How long? It depending on how long. It just depends on how big you got down there in those pockets. But sending love, Skywatcher. And also love to the mods in chat, of course. I saw Marshall out there in the Discord with me in the Insanity, sending love to you. I can't help it. The Christian channels that invite us consistently get overwhelmed by us. Like, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't take a lot to push them over either.
Always under his watchful eye. He's watching everything.
Oh, my. Well, I mean, if you need a daddy figure to watch you 24/7, 365, I mean, I won't kink shame, but I feel like you should just do good things for the right reason. That's just me.
Yeah. Right reason. Yeah. So God won't burn you in hell, right?
I was talking with a theist yesterday on sending love out to Randolph Richardson's stream. We're probably going to upload another one of those this week. But I tried to walk a theist through why it's just better to do something for the right reason. I gave a scenario. So say you punch someone in the face. Are you going to, number one, ask God forgiveness for this? Are you going to, number two, ask the person for forgiveness? Or number three, are you going to ask God and are you going to ask the person for forgiveness? I felt a little odd at the time for giving the out, but then I tried to talk him back into, because there really isn't an out. He's like, well, clearly number three. Well, okay, clearly number three. Well, how come not just number one? Why is it that, like, the person has to be included? Why is it just asking God isn't good enough? If God had the true power.
You see, yeah, it would be just God, really, at the end. Right.
Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of like that deal where they say, like, if you get sick or you have, a major accident, you end up in the hospital. Well, I mean, why would you thank God, not thank the doctor and the nurses who took care of you? And they say, well, we do both. Yeah, we do thank the doctor and the nurses. Well, I mean, wait a minute. So if it was God's will that you get better, would there be any way they could have screwed that up? Well, no. So they could be the worst doctor, the worst nurses. They could be the worst, and you would still get better because that was God's will, right? Well, yeah. And on the other side, if God wanted you not to get better, they could be the best doctor, the best nurses, best equipment, everything. And would you get better? Well, no. In that case, you would not get better. It wouldn't matter. It couldn't defeat God's will. So at the end of the day, it's all God.
If you get better, then it was God's plan and it was a miracle. And if you die, then that was also God's plan and you're in a better place now. I will send love because Pookykins, I think, is a Twitch member. So we should be able to show joke here. So cheesy Pizza Hut wants to sponsor them. In fact, let me do that better with the correct emphasis. Because, ladies and gentlemen, comedy is all about timing. So, jokes here, so cheesy. Pizza Hut wants to sponsor them. There you go.
No. You should have Rachel come in dressed as an Olive Garden waitress with the cheese to deliver some more cheese for you.
I was going to say, don't get her started. I was going to say, she's always like, can I just come in and do it? I'm like, why don't you, you could come in on the thing. She's like, but I want to just, come in here and do like, ha-ha. I should just promote it. Just say, come on and do more ha-ha.
Do Olive Garden waitresses normally carry bondage gear?
See, now you're really going to get her.
There you go.
It expired. Oh, well, we're going to share it anyway, Pookykins. We love you. We love all of our supporters here. And we're going to have a new thing. What's going to happen is, Rachel's like, yes, give in. Is that we're going to give all of the memberships a month bump because I always felt bad. There has been one or two people that have been off that we have been giving shout outs for, and one or two people that have just got on, and we want to make sure that we're getting shout outs.
People been off for quite a while.
Yes. Well, that was my nice way of saying. And so starting this new year, everyone is going to have a single month, and that will be extra shout outs and whatever, and then it will, Well, because we want to send that love out. I know some people hit hard times, and I also, sometimes it's just a pain in the butt because you forget to update it and stuff like that.
They don't send you
notification. Exactly. And so I want to go out of my way to make sure. And oh my gosh, a true celebrity. We had Jesse He Leaderson. in chat, who I think was
A true beta.
a true beta, who was on the board with me with Randolph stream. Who knows where? If you punch someone in the face, they're not the beta. It's so funny that I think he still does streams, even though I just don't know how you could even take him. Then again, Alex Jones, I feel like he's been thoroughly emasculated, and he still, I think, still does shows. So who knows?
Yeah. It's that's something else, isn't it?
It is, but we're getting into trying to think. We survived the political season. We're getting into the holiday season. It is at this moment, and I would say maybe a day or so, but no further, that holiday music shall be played. Yes. Now holiday music can be played.
I'm already hearing it. It's been...
You're like,
It's been...
Listen, sometimes it overtakes the other ones.
If it's one thing that really annoys the hell out of me, it's fucking Christmas music. I mean, which is why I wanted us to... One year we have to put together like a Christmas album, or like with our own Christmas music.
Oh, absolutely. I bought Avatar, and I'm going to have my first creative and comical coming out, but I want to do a bunch of anti-music, a bunch of anti-religion songs. That would be hilarious. A bunch of anti-music songs.
Gay drummer boy.
Just a bunch of people talking, but it's not like rap. It's just being like, no,
Hey,
but
might attract some attention from Yi.
Anti-MSR. Oh, I know. Attention from Yi. All I would have to say is something sane and rational. Oh no, I'm just sending love to all of... my impression of Yi. A genius!
Still a billionaire.
Well,
for now,
a millionaire. I'll give him that. I actually think he is. That's the joke. My favorite thing, at least, is Dave Chappelle's latest SNL. Is he said he met Kanye, and he wasn't talking to Dave, but he was just talking to the general audience, and he said only millionaires wear their money on the outside. And Dave was like, for real? And just kind of like tuck his necklace on the side. And then, all that shit went down, And, he was like, you can't mess with me. I will not be not heard. And then Adidas was like, wow. And so within over a night, I am pretty sure he lost quite close to the $900 million deal that he had, in which Dave was like, hey, maybe get that necklace back out. But what do the peons know? What do us peons know?
Not much.
Not much. What's up, Gur? Sending so much love. Sending so much also to your channel and all the atheist, agnostic, skeptical content creators out there.
Might have a debate coming up on slavery in the works, so stay tuned for that one. That will be interesting, to say the least. I've mentioned it a couple times before. It's been a couple months in the making since the challenge was dropped, but things take time. And
there's no better position that I think Christians, but also Jews and Muslims, like to take than the good slavery trademark. you know,
Right.
it's like slavery, but with googly eyes. You know what I
The
mean?
Diet Coke of slavery.
Mm. Mm.
Or
You can't even taste the slavery in it.
Yeah,
But
it's so good. You can't
still
even
the great
taste it.
slavery that we all know, love, and is inspired by. Ooh, hi, baby girl. She's like, that wasn't funny. By this book.
Right. The slavery that
Sponsored
we're
by
told
Cass.
in that book will endure till the very end of time. It'll always be part of it, as the book says. We would never be able to abolish it because the Bible says it will still continue. So
It's objectively moral, James.
yeah. Oh wait, we did abolish it. Oh, well, but the Bible says we can't do that because it'll be here until the end of the world. So I guess we have
But
to bring it back.
James, you don't understand. We killed a guy. But like we didn't just kill a guy. Like he was like the son of God or some shit. But like he was perfect.
Infinite in size.
Infinite in size, perfect, and well, tall, dark, and handsome. Need I say anything else?
Well, I mean, Mary Baxter did say he was like 6'4", ripped, beautiful eyes.
There's like a fan that travels behind him while he walks.
His hair, yeah, long, flowing, beautiful hair. Yeah.
What's up, Judith?
Fabio.
It does make
Mary
me want to
Baxter.
do like a live action Jesus. I know that's kind of like Life of Brian, but I want to do one that has like a Moses, a Jesus, and a Muhammad.
You Baphomet, Mr. Amy Newman, you Baphomet.
Baphomet.
I thought that was so funny when you had to get that out during the debate, just to troll her. You Baphomet, Mr. Baphomet, Mr. Amy Newman. You have a penis, Mr. Amy Newman.
My favorite thing to ask her is, can she prove she's a biological woman?
That was kind of funny. Okay, you say that you are. Can we? Well, I guess because of her age, it might be actually illegal for her to provide proof of that.
That is the other thing that we learned during that debate. That is, if they are not of age, maybe they should,
or
not even be allowed to be on the computer, have the child locks on.
We, in fact, we know a particular Christian, in fact, that we could send him to minister to her.
A very smoky one?
Intensive ministry. They won't be able to go to Chuck E. Cheese, but I don't know if they have those in the UK, so maybe their laws are...
So I was like... I said something once, and she was like, "I'm not from the UK. I'm not. Why do you even think I'm from the UK? That is ridiculous." I was like,
"Yeah, where would anybody get that idea from?"
What's up, Awoken? But I was just telling James, like well, it's either from her parents, clearly, but just the hate,
or
the
she
hate
was
that drips off. Well, that too. Because anyone that talks with the true whatevers, you are in deep. You have gone down the rabbit hole.
She's out there. She's about a good 80% down that hole. She's in the Rebel Nazarene territory.
Though what I will say,
I said his name, so he'll have to pop up in chat.
But speaking of Rebel Nazarene, even though she hates to call herself religious and all this, they all have this underlying mainstream Christianity. It still goes all back to, our Lord and Savior.
My version of Christianity is not religion. It's the true Christianity. The Bible talks about religion. Religion is the traditions of man. Christianity, well, specifically my version of it, because there's a million versions of it, but my version of it is the real Christianity.
That's right. It's the true Christianity.
The two other people on the planet who actually subscribe
specifically
to my version of Christianity. It's
That's right. Chuck E. Cheese is part of the Illuminati demons.
Pizzagate.
I forget where that's from.
Chucky's in on Pizzagate, yeah.
Indeed. Well, there wasn't a single conspiracy. It was just like ding, 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 ding. It was like the aliens are taking Jesus away from the Pizzagates that are the flat Earth.
Real Jews.
It was everything. Everything and then some. But James Wolfe is saying, I heard some people say Judaism isn't a real religion, but I personally think it Israel. Oh, James, I like it. It was like one of those. You had me in the first half. Thank you so very much.
Mystery Science Theater. The Final Sacrifice.
It's the
when Troy
sacrifice.
When Troy says, map Israel. And they're like, I think Israel's been fairly well mapped.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, there has already been a Jewish Messiah. It is very specifically the United Nations.
George?
Yes. Oh. No, that's our savior. My savior. What is up, Mark Reid? Hello, Mark. Amazing people. Well, in fact, this is our love letter. This is Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny. We are Thanks-Embering on just saying hi to everyone. If you are a super chatter, a Patreon, or a subscriber, we're going to keep on showing all of your comments up there on the screen, or at least most of them anyway. We'll do it. Don't force us to have a good time. But if you're just a subscriber or viewer, we're going to say hi and talk about... Well, if you're a creationist, we can't... I can't help it. Like, same with James. We get... It's like bait for skeptics.
Like moths to a light.
There was someone in here very early, and they always start. I just don't think they have the same stamina that skeptics have. That's why skeptics can stay. They'll stay behind stage for hours, but a creationist
10 minutes and they're gone.
Young Earth, exactly. They're like, if I can't spread my very specific minutes, if I can't spread my very specific message in the next 10 minutes,
these talking points to read, and
Jesus is on a payroll here.
I'll go elsewhere to win souls. Yeah,
exactly. Enjoy yourself and inhale, sir.
Be casting my pearls before swine. You on your way to hell, sir. By the way, before you go there, can I suck your dick, sir?
9 out of 10 anti-gay dentists, for whatever reason, seem to want to suck a big old D.
Excuse me, sir.
And it keeps on being that track record.
From, sir?
Can I also say that everyone who criticizes me for bringing up that 9 out of 10 anti-gay dentist ends up sucking a big D, it always ends up like this. What do you mean? That's terrible. You're stereotyping me. Oh, sure. Is that reverse psychology? Yeah. Okay, sure. Whatever. James Hall says, I told my Catholic priest that I was going to convert to Judaism. He told me to prepare for unforeseen consequences. Oh my, that's cutting it a little close. Tip your waitress, folks. Thank you so much, James Wolfe.
Yeah. There we go. Hit the drum hard on that one.
That's right. I saw someone sending love. That's right. James Wolfe owns the internet. Wins the internet.
He's well on his way to owning the internet. Before Elon Musk puts add to cart for the whole internet on his phone and buys the whole internet.
Poor Elon. It has been both an up and down. I think he's made some very good decisions. I think he's made a few decisions that he was just a little bit too drunk on his Amazon wish list, and maybe he should have thought before he went to the end of his cart. But we all have those moments. We all have those
We all
moments.
do.
And we'll probably go for about an hour or two. So this is actually just the beginning. And we'll probably just start talking, unfortunately, about counter-apologetics, because that's kind of our thing. I still get a lot of people who are like, why do you focus so much on religion? They try coincidentally to redirect my attention almost. Do you think that what I'm about to say is my brain, James? They're going to redirect it to my brain? Is that where this is going to
maybe
go? No, exactly. For whatever reason, the conversation always seems to like focus very junk oriented, not junk in the trunk oriented, but junk oriented. Even in theological, philosophical, and scientific conversations. Isn't that odd?
It does. It always seems to come up there, Mr. Amy Newman.
Mr. Amy. I don't know why I get very... I don't even know what accent that is. Mr. Amy Newman. Pat. You should consider that. You probably do consider that. In honor.
I'm so surprised that Darth would kick Pat from his Discord. Why would he do that, Amy? I can't imagine why Darth would feel the need to kick Pat.
You did either two things to get kicked. You either, one, asked a question, or two, asked a clarifying question. Either one of those.
Or
not a good thing to do.
You don't play ball with one of the gotcha questions he sets up, which they do at these priests. They set up a gotcha question,
and I'll tell you,
either play ball with it and answer it their way, or they get pissed.
So I'll tell you why that covers both bases, because it's either one, you ask them a question, in which case that you're not allowed to do that on the script, or two, you answer their question, but it's not in a way that they like, in which case you ask a clarifying question to get a more specific answer, and then they kick you. It's one or the other. And I wish I could just... What I also find, and I was just thinking about this, it is ridiculously funny to watch someone with like a edited...
I hope someone
Darth Vader helmet and Richard Dawkins' face on it, and to just listen to a voice continuously go, do I just have to hear to these teenage talking points? I don't know, Darth Vader. What do you think? But yes, Sunday love Patlow.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yes.
Because Pat, they don't want to hear the answer to it, because I think deep down he knows evidence is scant, but he doesn't want to have to actually face that reality that there's not really good archaeological evidence to confirm most of what's in the Bible. I mean, there's it mentions the name of a place. That place actually exists. Okay, all right. Does it mean all the magical shit happened? No. Is there any evidence for that? No. A lot of it, there's just no evidence for at all.
He didn't want to talk about biblical evidence, first of all, at all, ever, because that would be him having to actually discuss evidence, but in the field of archaeology. In other words, he didn't want to talk to someone who is an expert in the field, because he would have to actually concede that someone else besides him knows something. And and I wish I could just...
How could you possibly know anything, Amy, if you don't assume Christianity a priori? If you don't just assume that from the beginning, how can you know anything?
James, very specifically, how can anything be intelligible without the Christian God? Well, and that sentence it's like a very deepity sentence. I think when you first come across it, well, what makes things intelligible? Well, we were thinking about our hearts just a second ago or a few minutes ago. We were then thinking about my junk. I think it's finally time to come to our brains. Our brains make things intelligible. That's like his big gotcha. Anything dealing with consciousness is like the creationist freaking magic voodoo wand. I don't know if it's... I would like to take a little bit of credit. I have seen numerous skeptics been just having much stronger argumentation and maybe just confidence in knocking down very specific conscience. I'm looking at people like T-Jump and Danny, and Leo was always kind of like that, but just they're very much leaning in. I'm Mark Reid. I feel like skeptics, are really starting to freaking take back this whole.
Back.
Yes, but to get back to Pat's field, they did a presup. Absolutely does not want to talk about archaeology, because then they have to actually listen and pay attention and present evidence possibly for the resurrection, which...
their whole thing is we don't need evidence. We can just presuppose it. So why are you coming to us with evidence that contradicts it? Obviously, if it contradicts it, it must be wrong. It must just be wrong because, it's just got to be wrong. Right?
Well, I mean, it's even in the name. It is pre-asserted. You can't have logic without the Christian God. You can't have intelligibility. I asked the question and rejected his assertion of the archaeological evidence in the Bible. Wait, Pat, are you saying that the Bible can't be evidence for the Bible? Come on. I mean, that's not what the Bible told me.
Is not true, that it says stuff that is wrong.
And he wasn't liking the way it was going.
Well,
5 minutes. Longer than he probably lasts with. Is he married? Is Gary married? Should we be tacking ad hominems? Oh, I don't want to. But
you can hear from his ex-wife talk about the abuse and the
oh, wonderful. Sorry.
STD that he there's rumor that he gave her a STD from an affair with a man. But
see, like, I want to make a joke, and every time I hedge like it's someone's fetish, it ends up being worse, and they end up being just a degenerate piece of shit. But we already knew
that about Garth.
But not Pat. Pat's amazing. I asked the question and rejected, and okay, we read that. What is up? What is up, knock? I have the flaming chariot wheel. Well, flaming chariots seem to, first of all, tend to be what I get on first at specific clubs. But chariots also seem to knock God down. Iron chariots, very specifically. What's up, Caterpillar? God equals square root of -1, and Michael Smith, and Flum, Materialist Dan.
What they're really saying, like people like Darth, is that we don't have absolute knowledge, and that's true. We don't have absolute knowledge. All knowledge is provisional. It's all based on other things. It's all subject to review based on future discoveries and things. Like, where do the laws of logic come from? They come from our observations of how things seem to work. It's not that
not only that
to be otherwise, and the laws of logic step in and force them to conform to them. It's just
the laws of logic are basically, they are tautologies that are mantras to prove that we're not crazy. Everything is what it is. Everything cannot be what everything can't be what it can be. You cannot be and be at the same time. Okay, we get it. But that doesn't
come from.
Where do those come from? Where does everything is that it is come from? the English language. You see, here's the first is, and here's the second. You just is equals. Speak for yourself. I know I'm crazy. That's right, Beams.
Pat posted another thing.
Basically said you could reject the existence of unicorns because absence of evidence is the evidence of absence. I mean, we famously did basically a whole episode on that. We need to get Pat on there for more, and asked him if based on that is believed in the Exodus. Yeah, he doesn't really want to give a good. Is he a Catholic pre-supper? He wouldn't. I know
he's Catholic. I think he's a
Catholic. He's a Protestant pre-supper,
but he does have a lot of Catholics who follow along.
Well, I just would want to know if he takes a literal interpretation of the first few books of the Torah.
He's a younger creationist. Yeah.
I mean, if I could just say.
Well, I mean, if you don't have to justify with evidence, then you can just take it for what it is, right? You don't have to because it must be true because it just must be true.
My favorite magical wand is if God can do it, can't God do it? Yeah. Better phrased, if God can do anything, can't God do X?
Thanks, Marshall.
Yes, sure, because God can do anything, and X is covered by anything, but that's magic. Unicorns also hate this. I forget who was having a conversation, and they're like, don't you understand that when you point out that when you're comparing us to unicorns or leprechauns or our belief systems like that, that's offensive and that you're basically giving bad social credit? I would say it's a yes and a no. Yes, I would say sometimes we have to understand that we are teasing, that we are being a little bit comedical and humorous, but it's also a no in that we are being humorous and comical. We are going to this place. We are going to, there's a direct Latin argument that I should know. Argument ad absurdum? That reductio ad absurdum. Yes, that just trying to point out that if your statement works with anything else that we work, that is just, we can almost kind of poo-poo it away. Also, I just want to say, unicorns, my gosh, it's just a horse with a
I was going to say,
sharp
their
object
existence
on
is
its
not
head.
like crazy. There are probably thousands of species of animals that will have never been recorded in the fossil record that existed. I mean, the fact that, basically just a horse with a single horn growing out of its forehead or part of its head is not that unbelievable. It's actually much more reasonable.
Now, they would say now it's not supernatural, but it would be like, well, if I listen to you try to talk to me about why Moses, who I don't think existed, but went by on a low tide, well, it's like, well, where's the miracle in that too, buddy?
Well, yeah, like there are some people who make claims, who try to minimize like the miracle claims from the Bible when they can get away with it.
Well, they try and make them rare events, but if they're rare events, they're not miracles. You really can't have it. Either defies the laws of physics, or you are just fudging it.
I guess if you had like a string of super rare events in a row, it would be pretty.
It'd be weird, but we'd start collecting. Maybe it'd be evidence towards something.
Right. It would be evidence.
Also, thank you so very much, Caterpillar. It's so funny, I will say, because Rachel was like, no, it's great that you became a grandmother. But I like this and felt that this was kind of fallish. I'm hoping that the skirt kind of it brings it all together, and I like that I just got to wear like browns and color when I normally just get to wear black. I am rainbows and pink on the inside, but I just wear a lot of dark clothing. Da 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 da. Pat said he said yes because Jesus testified to all of the Old Testament accounts, and he considered Jesus to be the ultimate ultimate eyewitness and thus irrefutable evidence.
So
I don't even know how you could honestly.
He's not going to even play ball with the evidence. He's just going to reject it out of hand. It must be wrong because it just must be all wrong. There you go. Don't even need to listen to it because Jesus said it's true.
Hey, do you know who wasn't the ultimate eyewitness? Paul. I'll even call him by his new name. Who am I, one to complain?
Saul.
However, no, you didn't see Paul. I feel accurate. Atheists can talk a lot of shiz, okay? A lot of the theist skeptic community is now questioning whether Jesus existed. I don't care about none of that shit. Prophets don't exist, and Paul did not meet Jesus. If you think that you met someone 50 years ago from after they died, please seek help professionally.
Well, but Amy,
don't create
if it's the Son of God, God could do it.
Yeah, exactly.
God could do it. God could come back 50 years after his death.
I know. Well, James, if God can do anything, can't he do X? Why, I never thought of that before. Oh, wait. But what about X? Oh, my shiz. But wait, how about Y? Oh, my goddess. If you're going to say Y, don't even ask about Z.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why... that's why, when you make your comments about we get those responses sometimes from in the chat when you're like, how could a guy come back 3 days after being dead and decomposing? And they're just like, well, he was God. He could just do it. It doesn't matter. You can't ask how. He can't. He just can because he's just
asking
God.
Is cheating. No, I'm pretty sure coming back with magic is cheating.
Well. Yeah, but he's God. He can do magic. Magic is allowed for him, so,
If you believe in magic. Also, Pat, I hope that this becomes a Tom Rabbit. Maybe we'll watch it.
It's very short, so probably not. But hopefully somebody has it. Or he might have it on record, but he might not make a video.
James, it's not about the size of the stream. It's how you use it. Darth was completely unaware that in the Disney version of Snow White, she was 14 and the prince was 31. He rejected it out of hand. The original story, Grimm's Fairy Tales. She was 7. He's an idiot. Yeah. They also don't like to talk about Mary being 12 and Joseph being the 35-something virgin. No, really. Yeah, no, definitely. Darth seems to be unaware of a lot of things, though. I hate to even give him so much. I hate to credit because it's really just this presuppositionalism assholeness. I don't know what it is about presuppositionalism.
We did hear from Ultimated Judeo-Christian that Darth is in the Book of Life, if you remember that, Amy. He is. He is going to heaven.
I think he challenged me to a debate. I need to continue to set that. I think he sent me an email. Yes, he said in the middle of some whatever he was the most reasonable person, and that was I forget when that was going on, but yeah.
And that's one other thing I have to point about your debate with KJV. So if Ultimated Judeo-Christian is coming in the room and being a voice of reason and clarity.
Oh, I know, exactly.
You are not in Kansas anymore.
Oh, no, exactly.
If the guy who says God is jerking him off, God is giving him a hand job while he's on a stream talking because he is in a sexual relationship with God, then and that person is being reasonable and trying to just have
Yes.
An honest discussion, then you are. Where are you at that point, Amy?
I'm not sure. We're not in Kansas, like you said. We're definitely not in Kansas.
Because he was like, no, let Amy talk. Come on, let Amy talk. You asked a question. Don't talk over Amy. And I asked Mr. Amy Newman, that old geezer with a penis. I asked him a question, and I'm not going to let Mr. Amy Newman answer that question because I don't want to hear what Mr. Amy Newman has to say. That old geezer, Mr. Amy Newman.
James, it is so hard being this old.
What?
Like, I have lived for decades and decades, and saying, one more decade.
Like you're in your 90s or something.
Well, that's, I guess, the first step that we should understand. If we had to card this person for drinking, yeah. She's like, you're in your 30s. You're basically about to die.
When you're 14, 30s does sound ancient, but
I guess so. Exactly, it is. It's like when you're watching like a young adult film, and they're like, "It's the adults," and they turn to like the 30-somethings that are their teachers, even though like all of the high school students are like 20-somethings.
Oh, well, right. Like the movies where there's people in their mid-20s playing 16-year-old high school students.
Yes, but all you have to do to get that role to act, you just got to turn your hat backwards and go like this. Gotta lean. You gotta lean when you have your arms like this. But as long as you're leaning,
so you're 27. But we'll cast you as a high school junior or sophomore.
The locker is behind
him. You can pass for 15.
But James, if you want to sell it, you have to really throw your fist into the locker. I can't take it anymore. God, these adults. There you go.
Unless Amy misses her guest, that would be the gymnasium room. Is she right? Yeah, it is.
That is. That's where we inject the estrogen.
It's a good room.
Oh my God! I want to do a horror film where they're secretly just transitioning people. Just
for the like the school with the tunnels under the street, right to the clinic across the street where the kids can go and get their hormones and their gender reassignment treatments and whatnot, and then show at home where the 6 or 7 year old girl gets home and says, "Daddy, you can't call me a girl anymore. I'm a boy, and if you call me a girl, you're going to get arrested. That's what my teacher said." And then of course he says, no, baby, you're a girl. And then, of course, the cops come up with clubs and club him and handcuff him and haul him away for, this. We
don't allow whatever sex you're born allowed here.
Warped version of reality, like the pleasure pods that the Muslim guy was talking about in the debate with Ra that they think were.
Kills me that in that after show we did not a single time bring up the fact that Muslim guy was talking about pods. Like that,
I think we mentioned it, but it came up eventually. But
that's right. I won't slut shame God. She's just an independent woman having some fun and living her life. That's true. Okay? Right now, what God needs is, I feel like, a Long Island iced tea, a mimosa. Surprise me.
Surprise him. It's a trap.
Oh, it most definitely is.
Yeah, plum. Eating bugs and playing video games in your pod with pornography and Marvel movies to keep you entertained in your pod.
What? Send in love, Karish. I mean, I have looked into, I've great scratched the beginnings of looking into Islam. I like to think I've read at least a few more chapters than some have. However, so I'll separate this out in two ways. I don't believe in Islam. I don't think that it's true, but I don't think you should be prejudiced towards Muslims. It's the same view, I think, with Jews and Christians, and yeah. But welcome to.
Is stupid, but not all theists are stupid.
Well, yes. And I would even I'll put it a little bit nicer. Theism is silly.
Okay.
But we don't think you're silly. And a lot of smart people have ways of rationalizing it, exactly. And we hope that you feel welcome here. If you are a skeptic, then you have a home.
You can force yourself to believe anything, because if you want to believe that bad, if you really want to believe something, then you will accept any type of rationalization that's barely coherent if you really want to believe bad enough. We have very smart people who believe some very silly things because they want to believe it just that bad. It may even fulfill a need for them. They may actually need to believe in something to get them through something that they're would not otherwise be able to deal with. That's.
Islam is historically correct. It's proven. I mean, I heart you, but those are, to me, they're like easy. It is known. Easy claims to disprove, because Islam believes in Adam and Eve, Noah and Moses, and those people just didn't exist. They historically did not
the life
exist.
of Muhammad, he did exist, almost certainly. He was a person, and a lot of his exploits are well known in history, but does that prove that he was in contact with angels and getting messages beamed down to him from Allah, and that everything he wrote is true? No.
Well, that was my favorite thing that they have. How do you know that they don't exist? Because historically they weren't. It is the same way that I'm trying to think of.
There were no first two humans there, so evolutionarily speaking, you couldn't have an added. There would be no first two humans.
Yeah, that's not how
evolution works.
It's not how biology, evolution, whatever you want to say. There was no first man or woman like that, and so
the flood did not happen. Moses did not exist. The Exodus did not happen. Pat was just talking about that with Darth Dawkins. But overwhelming evidence.
But that's the problem with claiming a final prophet. We don't believe in first prophets. And so you got to sell us on the notion of prophethood.
Yeah.
You got to sell, and it's not the Christians either. You got to sell us on why there would even be people who would speak to God. To me, my thing is a middleman. A Quran is preserved.
Why would we need to have middlemen? And I've asked this on Muslim streams before. Why would we need to have a middleman? And what the answer is could you stare at the sun? Could you be able to look at the sun? Well, no. Okay, so I'm not capable of looking at God, understanding God, but God could make it so that I was, right? God could make it so that people could hear him and understand him and understand what he's saying. He wouldn't need to go through middlemen. Because, of course, then you have situations where people might claim to be speaking for him and they're not. And how do we know? Because we don't have access to their minds. So then we have to that whole Pharaoh thing. That's a really silly thing. But anyway, Quran did not come from God. if there was a God, he wouldn't need to speak to us with ancient books, fallible books. He could just speak to us so that we would actually know what he was talking about. You would need to have competing versions of Islam competing back and forth, saying, "Oh no, we're the real Islam. Oh no, we're the real Islam," just like you have in Christianity and virtually every other religion on earth, saying that there's different sects and versions of it. They all can't agree. You wouldn't have that if it was one God speaking one message to humanity. We would all be able to have a understanding of it. Especially a God like the Abrahamic God who threatens people, who overtly threatens people with to kill them and do very mean things to them after they're dead if they don't do what he says, if they don't believe what he mandates they believe, and in some cases act how he mandates that they act. If that's how he's going to play, then he would be under obligation. He would have to clearly let us know what he wants of us, but he doesn't do that. We get old books about talking snakes and floods that never happened and all kinds of horror and absurdity rifled through the pages, and we just have to take that shit and believe it, or else, is what we're told. And that's the whole thing about this these holy texts is because sometimes you'll hear from the religious like, well, I mean, hey, they were messages to the people of the day, so they had to conform to the people at the time, what they would expect and what their value system would be and what they would think would be rational. Okay, all right, but we have a different time now. But why don't we get a different message? Why do we have to just rely on the same old stuff that made sense in the Bronze Age, made sense in the Iron Age, doesn't make sense today? And too bad, believe it anyway, or God will kill you and do bad things to you after you're dead. No. And if that's the ultimate deal, if that's what God is all about, that he's just a sadistic prick. He's an asshole, and he's not worthy of worship. And you only worship him because you're afraid of what he'll do to you if you don't, or you want what he's going to give you. You want them virgins, or whatever. Atheists are becoming Muslim, yeah, but more Muslims are becoming atheists by the day. Okay, and atheists, we don't have to pass laws to prevent people from becoming Muslim or religious. At least we're not for that. There have been times where atheism has tried to be enforced before, but it never worked, and we're not for that. But there's lots of countries around the world where they pass laws that prevents Muslims from becoming atheists. So why is that? So if Islam is so true and good and wonderful and obvious, then why would you need to pass a law against people from abandoning Islam? You wouldn't need to do that. You have to do that because you're scared. Because you are scared. They are scared that if a couple people stop showing up to the 15 prayers a day, 5 prayers a day, that maybe other people will say, well, you know what? He stopped showing up. Nothing happened. Why am I wasting my freaking life on my knees to this dude who doesn't exist?
Got you.
If you want to spend your life on your knees,
I was with you up to that. Exactly.
There you go. Anyway.
Well, I have been oddly owning a few labels that I feel like I've shied away for, and yet I feel like indeed, and yet I feel like in accepting them, I've had a new ownership of them, and so I'll make it political and then come it back around. Islam makes you a better person. Yeah, but if you don't want to drink alcohol, just don't drink it. But don't make it because of the religion.
Well,
but
I'm gonna in honor of that, while Amy's talking, I'm gonna have a
hells yeah
for Allah.
And if I may say so, in the name of Oz, bum, 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 bum,
Amen.
bum, bum,
Praise Allah.
bam,
Praise
bam.
Jeebus.
That's right. Well, so to make it, like I said, political and bring it back around, the words I've been kind of owning is liberalism, and yet understanding that being a liberal doesn't mean being anti-conservative. It's not really a true dichotomy. And so
the way it means in political context.
exactly. And so I feel like I've been able to really use that as a power and a strength, because I feel like the culture war right now is becoming Islam versus liberalism and secularism. And so I guess knowing thyself has really gained a strength. And then, it feels like that the Orthodox Jews and fundamentalist Christians know this, and they're consolidating. And so,
the battle lines are being drawn.
The battle lines are being drawn. All I would say to that, once again, is that we have bacon and PS5.
Oh, and alcohol. Yeah.
And alcohol. Exactly. And women can wear whatever they want.
Amy can go on Grindr.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I can
find
Jesse P. Littleton on there.
And that's at the end of the day, like the things that we have in our pods are going to be better. Yeah, Chris, like pork consumption is going up. I mean, imagine that. Like that is like the biggest problem facing the world today. Like according to the Islamic countries, is worldwide pork consumption.
But pork is proven to be dirty if you don't cook it. Like,
right.
I hate to say that we have mastered fire. I feel like at this point we can put that peg
because
I
wouldn't recommend eating raw chicken. I don't think you're gonna end up doing too well with that either.
Have you ever gone to the Stookie store? Have you ever gone to the store and on the back of the cookies it says "Do not eat, do not consume raw egg"? Fire. Add fire.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat raw chicken either, so I don't think pork is inherently more dangerous than that.
I mean, I wish they would come at it not that like pigs are dirty, stinking animals. I mean, come at my heartstrings with like the vegan shit. Like, did you know pigs are so smart they can probably beat you at a good amount of video games? There are video games that they've shown pigs can beat you at.
Therefore, they look dirty, so therefore they must be
dirty, they're probably stupid
creatures on the inside, and their brains are mush, they're dumb, and
they're actually highly intelligent and not dirty animals. They actually will roll around only specifically in mud. They do that because they cannot secrete sweat. Exactly. Right. So pigs don't sweat. They're not sweaty
animals.
Elephants
do it too. Elephants will spray themselves in dust to keep themselves warm. It's just,
But yeah, so pulling us from those things. Don't be like this dirty, filthy animal. Be like, are you really going to eat the thing that can beat you at Atari? I feel like that's a much stronger argument. I'm not a vegan, but at least come at us from that
octopus are highly intelligent animals.
Exactly.
So dolphins, whales,
I've seen an octopus get out of a jar from the inside. They pulled a David Copperfield.
Figured out how to unscrew it from the inside.
Inside. That's a very important thing. That is the number one thing is, should we care if our answers are correct or not? I think it's the only metric that we should.
And that's the thing, like, I remember watching a Mr. Batman video, like his conversion story to religion. And he's like, well, I was talking with I believe it, just going to paraphrase, I was talking with my uncle and I was an atheist. And he asked me, well, where do you know where did the universe come from? Where did this come? Where did logic come from? Where did morality come from? And I didn't have answers for that, sir. I had to say, I don't know. And he said, well, I do know. And at that point, I realized, sir, that my worldview has to be able to answer every question you could ever pose it, sir. And
can I tell you?
You can pose that your worldview can't answer. Your worldview is wrong, sir. It's wrong.
That means anyone, literally anyone, could have come to him. And as long as they said they knew, that would have been the philosophy or the theology he would have believed.
That's what I mean. Because,
boom.
Yeah. And that's why I say a lot of these people, had they been born in Saudi Arabia or Iran, they would be devout Muslims. They would be, isn't it funny that, like, hey, Amy, come here. I figured out the creator of the universe, the guy who made all this shit, all these cultures out of all the world. I figured out the one that is actually true. And Amy, we lucked out. It just happens to be that it's the God that is predominantly worshipped in the culture that we happen to live in. We're the right ones. How lucky is that? We lucked out because, if we were born
I
in
knew it
India,
all along
we
that
would
I
be
was
worshiping the Hindu gods, but they're not true. Or if we were born in Iran, we would be worshiping Allah, but he's not true. And if we were
oh my God,
in another country, he's not true. But you see, Amy, the Bible is very clear. Well, that the apostles were very clear, that Jesus was very clear, that he was God. And that's good enough for me too. And it should be for you too. It should be for you too.
If it was good enough for my random childhood brain that was imprinting on whoever was in front of me, it should be good enough for you.
Well, that's right, sir. And then I took my dick out, sir.
Oh my God, I know. Mr. Batman, the lovely ex-gay. What? No. What? We would never. Mark Reid says, well, California and Australian bushfires prove our mastery of fire is not so complete as we think. That is very true. Well, we are also, we love to talk about how smart we are, and then the so free thinkers that go against global warming and all this shit, they're like, why is the world burning?
I don't think that's true, Chris. I would recommend using soap.
Oh my gosh, let me get down to that text.
I would not recommend just using.
Okay, you're talking about washing your hands.
Yeah.
It could have been a multitude of different subjects.
Right,
We're talking about washing.
It's
love that apologetic. I had to hold it in. Doesn't matter where, as sending love to modern day debate, James Coons, I like to think that I'm a neutral moderator for all debates, because if it looks like I have no emotions, I'm putting in lots of energy to just have no emotion. That is what I'm trying to do. Because some of the things that people say, I'm like, how many times? I thought that gentleman was nice, but hand washing is not a miracle. The last debate that we was just on, who I think I gave them.
Islam tells you to wash your hands.
I gave each one. I made sure that each one got not only 2 minutes, but an extra chunk of change to whatever to finish their point. But that's not a miracle. It's not saying do this because of viruses. It's generally also doing it, I hate to say it, out of a narcissistic need for them, but it's be pure when you are worshiping me. You better be on your best awesomeness and your best cleanliness in front of me. Well, if that coincidentally makes it so that you were cleaning your hands in front of running water, cool. That just so happens to...
It would be better than doing nothing, but you know what would be even better than that? If you use some soap. That would be even better than water.
Absolutely. Like I said, Christian, even though we're sending you lots of, volleys at you, hopefully you still feel welcome. We actually like it when the Theas join.
Yeah, thank you.
Mark Reid is saying,
why
and
do
we'll
you think
start. Nadir.
Yeah.
Yes. He was a mensch. He sounded like a good guy. It was just I was not buying it. Once again, it was not my task to buy what he was selling. I was just modding, but
still
washing hands. It reminds me, it's that Rocco's Modern Life episode where he's telling him how to handle the comic books in the store. Well, first you turn the page, and then you wash your hands. And then you turn the page, and then you wash your hands. And then you turn the page, wash your hands. And he's like, I'm going to hit my head. And so Islam takes away the toxic things in the world.
Mark Reid.
I mean, but what I'm saying, what I'll say it, but what I'm just saying is those type of statements, like I love you, I can tell that you have like the best intentions, but those type of statements are statements that cults make. Like, honestly, insert takes away the toxic things in the world. Is it the goop that what the hell sells all those products? Krish Soap has been responsible for, or at Krish Soap has been responsible. It was funny if it was like this one guy. Did you know that Krish Soap has been responsible for saving billions of lives? He's amazing. No, Soap has been responsible for saving billions of lives through hygiene. Why didn't Allah tell people to use soap? And yeah, they'll be like, well, they told you to wash your hands. Yeah, but there's a difference actually between so it is very specifically those two things. Soap is what kills the germs and water washes it away. So soap you'll actually be kind of okay if you just kill the things on your hands, but it's better to just wash it away. If you just wash things away without yes, that too. But if you just wash your hands without using soap, you have a good chance of maybe washing debris away, but leaving a lot of bacteria that's still there. So
depending on the cleanliness of the water, you might be adding bacteria to it.
Indeed, depending on the water. Yeah.
Because Allah never told us about these nasty things like bacteria and viruses that inhabit almost every square freaking inch of the Earth's surface.
Also, if you may be thinking, my favorite Dawaist just says these apologetics so much better. Maybe, but all the arguments are still equally batted away. That a lot of these apologists and whatever they want to call themselves, they become to use the word that the flat earthers love. They're sophists. They are very good at saying silly things confidently.
You need to be in a state
Great soap breaks down the water surface tension. Yeah, that works. Okay. Oh, what's up, Norfolk?
The Quran Arabic version. Well, I mean, I don't think
purity so. Even holding. Well, that's what I mean. But see, doesn't that feel a little? That's what I mean. You're being washed. Like for religious reasons, and it's for like the big man upstairs and for like the holy book. It's not for like so that the chicken doesn't kill you. The salmonella is still gonna get you. Get you. Back. What is up? Back. Beck was just doing an amazing stream the other day. It's all blending together at this point to me, but yes, it was just. Another amazing unbeliever. What the Beck does amazing, and I just have to send love out to student Dr. Ben, Beck's man with a plan in content creation, who also does amazing things for the ACA. Do-do-do. Yay, Beck says hi to Gizmo. Boom. Your streams are always fun. Jesus prayed like a Muslim. Like a Muslim. No. But see, I find that interesting. All prophets prayed like Muslims. Oh my gosh. See, this is the revert kind of mentality, right? But it's the retcon kind of thing. And even animals submit to God. Hey, did you know we actually are animals? So.
Are we?
We are indeed. Some would even say we're party animals.
In fact, you could get that.
We are Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny. We are Thanks-Ember. We are looking for all of those fun. Anyone who is our supporters, if you have sent in a super chat or if you continue to do so, if you are a channel member or a Patreon, this is our love letter to you once a month. We just send all of your comments, one-liners, questions up on screen. But if you're just a subscriber or viewer, we love you too. And we're saying hi and talking. Like I said, we love the back and forth, actually. Like a Muslim praying for the very first time. Yeah, basically, I would say so. I love that. Can I tell you that the first thing you find out in Muslim boot camp in day one is that you didn't convert, you revert. You were always a Muslim. You didn't know it, but you knew it. You secretly knew it in your subconscious. In the one spot that wasn't touched by an Allah yet.
Touched by a Muhammad.
The stream is. Oh, thank you, Krish. The fact that we're making you laugh or having a good time means we're doing our job. So send them that love right back. Hey, I get why you think Judaism and Islam make sense too, because they're called people of the book, right?
What book?
But the Quran. But did you know there's actually two main villains, I would say, are in the Quran. I mean, there is the big S man. I mean, Satan on the DL. I mean, he obviously, you need a big bad, of course. But there's actually one other group of people that really piss Allah off and continually up everything that he's doing. No, not the ants. You would think it would. You would think. Are you ready? It's unbelievers.
Oh, would that be
right?
Us? Is that us? Oh.
That would be us. Unbelievers drive him up the wall. Apparently, because he mentions us in name. Chapter after chapter after chapter, a ridiculously more amount than you would think, more than even Mr.
Really
Jealous
by
in
our
the Torah.
existence.
Yes, it's basically Muslims are awesome, Jews and Christians get a pass, and the pagans and the unbelievers. What the are you even? Why you get two ways of converting? All right. You ready? It's like a choose your own adventure. All right, James? You see, on one side, you get to convert via Holy Book. On the other side, we poke each of your family members with this sword until you like this Holy Book. Do you like this game? I love this game. Dude.
You see, Chris, you've got it backwards. We begin with atheism because we don't have a belief in a religion, and then we would need for a particular religion to provide sufficient reason to believe in it, and then we would become a theist and subscribe to that religion. We haven't seen any reason. We haven't been presented with any good reason to believe in any particular religion. So in absence of that, we decide not to just put all the religions on a wall and throw a dart and just believe whatever dart it happens to land on. We just say we're going to wait, and
You know, it could be that this one religion is all right and the others are wrong, or it could be that all of them are wrong.
Because they can't all be right, but they can all be wrong. And that makes
That's right. This is my sword of kindness. But I will say, Krish, that like it's not just Islam. You know, Christianity had their heyday, and the Jews and all the other religions that get power, they eventually like to spread their kindness to other places. But what would make us convert would be, I mean, I hate to be just so obvious with it. Maybe James has a different answer, but empirical evidence. Like every time I give this, it generally, whatever answer I answer, because it becomes so obvious and so easy, which is just a test that everyone would believe, that a scientist could prove, then it becomes, but where would the test be? What test? Is this Saw? Is there hidden cameras? Should I have signed a waiver, I feel like, before entering this game show? I don't know. What do you think, James? What will convince you that Islam's true?
I don't know. I mean, if Muhammad rode back on a burqa through the sky with a banner, a gay pride banner.
James, you can't just say what my fan fiction is.
Well, I mean, hey. Then maybe we would consider it. But yeah, I and not to pick on Islam, but if I was going to subscribe to a religion, it would not be first on the list. That's and that doesn't mean that people are bad, or that doesn't mean that it's inherently more wrong than anything else. It's just not, Yeah.
But my asterisk would be, so I would say Islam would definitely not be my first choice, but if it were proven true, then I wouldn't get. All I want to know is it true? Because whether I like the God or not, it always goes back to the original thing of we just want to believe things. The soul crushing moment, and you may not understand this, truly, until you're a non-believer. But if you were to prove some of the Abrahamic gods, I think James and I both would join Team Satan. And it's hard to convince you that that's not, because I think to a Christian and a Muslim, Jews don't believe in a Satan, but I think to a Christian and a Muslim, they just hear that and they're like, I don't believe that. Oh, just tie your fedora on. Did you just turn? Did you just become a teenager? So edgy. No. Really. There's some horrible, metaphorically soul-crushing stuff in these holy books. So I hate to say that we joined the other team, but
he just seems like such a bully, just such an asshole. Requiring belief and then intentionally refusing and withholding evidence of that, intentionally hiding himself so that he can laugh at the people who don't believe in him as he's casting them down to be tortured forever for his amusement, for
Muhammad
his
would
glory,
never do that.
Because only the Christian God, only the Abrahamic God derives glory from defeating enemies that are infinitely weaker than him. I mean, it's
true. How does God have enemies? Number one. How does God lose any battle ever? How?
But how does he derive glory from defeating enemies? That would be like
that's number three.
A UFC fighter and putting him in a ring with a toddler, and then having that fighter say, I kicked his ass, I beat the shit out of that kid, I'm the best, I'm the champion. And everyone will look at that guy and say, you're just a fucking asshole. You're a bully.
It really is.
You beat up a little kid. Who gives a shit? But
number one, God gets in fights. To begin with. Number two, God loses some fights. What the fuck? Number three, when God actually wins a fight, he then gloats about it for the next whatever 1,000 years. When the opponent, you remember that time that I took you out of Egypt? You remember that time when I beat Pharaoh? It only took me hardening his heart 5 times, but do you remember it?
Well, it's like the Battle of Armageddon why would you need to have a battle? Why would anyone have a battle against the deity?
True.
Even if you had a trillion observable universes full of nuclear bombs and you launched it all at God, would it be enough to well, no, it wouldn't defeat him.
That is also
what is even the fucking point of having a
when they talk about Sodom and Gomorrah
concept. It's such a human.
They talk about Sodom and Gomorrah as if like they walk away like we nuked this place.
We killed gays. Suck it, gays. Well, they are sucking it, but anyway.
But that was like one of the rare times that God actually won a fight, and he didn't even. Gays came right back. Right back. I feel like there were comments. I know there were that we've been missed. Please keep on also sending them in. James Wolfe says, you would join Team Satan and damn yourself to Christian hell. And yeah, I mean, it's always like this hard thing. Well, first of all, anything with me, I feel like that comes around, hopefully, is hard. But it depends on the entire scenario. Because if you're burning forever at all times in every moment, like, you just don't have, there is no rebellion. There's no worrying about God or Satan or anything. You have bigger problems. You're just burning. That's just, you have like, did you clear off your 12 to 9 p.m. schedule? Because between then and also after that and before them, it's all burning all the time. But besides that, but I mean, if it's like this hell where you somehow have sentience, like for whatever reason, Satan is like doing things and he's not burning. And it always brings up the possibility that I guess that other people are not burning things and being burned and stuff. So I don't know. Well, my ballsiest statement, although I mean it, and it's as much as I'll put on the fedora for my statement, but someone was like, you just can't handle responsibility, or you just can't handle it when people are actually given justice. And I'm like, you're right. I actually want hell to be real so that we can send this God there. Just help me. How do we get and capture this God so we can send him to this eternal torture chamber? I guess that's as ballsy as I can get.
You know, the whole concept. Well, I mean, of course, so it's ridiculous that omnipotent God would even have an enemy or an adversary.
I know.
To begin with, because like the whole concept is stupid. But you know, they felt like they needed that because, well, when the story started, who were his enemies? They were the other gods, but then later on they moved on to say, okay, well, actually those gods aren't real, so he needs an enemy. So they bring this Satan guy in, and they say he's supposedly an angel, a very intelligent angel who is in heaven, and he rebelled against God, and he was able to convince a third of the other angels to join his insurrection. And so these are angels who are much smarter than humans. Not only they know God exists, they have absolute knowledge that he exists. They see him, 100%. They worship him. Yeah, they know for a fact that he exists. They've been to heaven. They know what it's like. And it was, and they would know the nature of God, that you could never defeat him. You could never, the insurrection was not going to work. You could never kill God. But they were so freaking miserable in heaven that they would decide to join this rebellion, damn the consequences, whatever he does to us, because it couldn't be worse than what they were enduring. And you read in the Psalms, you read about the seraphim who have 6 wings. They only use 2 to fly; the other cover their parts. But all they do, fly above the throne of God. That's a little bit
extra. I like how you only have 2 to fly, and the other 2 to cover. This is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but this is why religion can't do logistics, okay? Like, really, for aesthetic. I wonder why that didn't survive evolution. Okay, continue.
Well, all they do is they fly above the throne of God, and they call out one to the other. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And that's all they do. forever. That's their sole existence, is to do that. Now,
This is
I mean,
glory, glory, glory that never ends. It just goes on and on. Mine, Yahweh's like, shut it off.
Of course, they say the whole earth is full of his glory, but they don't say the universe, because the earth is an infinitesimally small part of the universe. And they say that, oh, God made such a big universe for his glory, but they didn't seem to know that when they wrote the Bible. They didn't seem to have any concept of the size of the universe when they wrote.
Well, I also just like to think that they for part 2 about to come down, like the PR people had to sit God down, and he's just sitting there and he's chain smoking with like a old and a beer, and he's like, what? And they're like, listen, God, we love the flood, the toads falling, everybody, the apple in it, the whole shtick. But like,
turning the water to blood.
We got a little bit of data back. The fuck is data? And it turns out that our target audience, it actually, well, what do you think about Arrival? Like, you're just, I know you were out there and you were like doing shit and you're God and everything.
Yeah,
but
we get it. There's nobody like you. You're the only one. You're the best.
But hear me out. Like, there's you, but then there's like someone like below you that you gotta do like this big fight, and we'll use like the whole special effects department.
And that's what James.
You fucking kidding me? They're like, no, we already paid. You paid? Oh yeah, we killed your son. I have a fucking son? Yeah, no. I buy it. I buy the whole thing.
He's also you, and he's your ghost, but we'll get into that later.
Did I sign for that? Do I have to pay child support, or do we have to pay 1/3? I feel like I have to pay only 1/3 of child support. Sure. Oh, wait. I think I brought up the wrong one already. Which one did you just bring up?
James Wolfe.
I like how I brought it down, and then I'm like, now read it. Sorry. Give me 1 second. We're going through it. In fact, I will say, we are asking me anything and saying something. Would you join Team Satan and damn yourself to Christian? Hell yes, we would. Oh, well, at least the Satanic Bible says that children should not be harmed. That's way more moral than the Christian Bible. Yes. Well, I think it was Matt Dillahunty that would say that we could write a better morality. I think Hitchens used to say this too. A better 10 Commandments on a napkin than the actual 10 Commandments. But I absolutely agree. The Satanic Bible that says that, and the actual, and I'm sure the Christians always hear this. They always go, "Oh, you're a Satanist." But I've read a decent amount of the Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible, and it has decent advice. Some of it I would throw away, but it actually has giant swaths better advice than the actual Bible.
Well, as I've said before, you could drive under an overpass and find a drunk man.
I read you? We're gonna
sleep under there, and he could come up with better commandments in the Bible.
I'm gonna read, and we'll have I'll give shout outs after this. But I can't help it.
Probably go to about the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, the 2-hour mark will start to support. But I just want to share these rules because I used to get them all the time from the people who, once again, they hate liberal secularism. They hate, any type of non-religious viewpoint. And so I kind of just want to share these rules because they're fantastic. And actually, I'm going to hold on up there. I'm going to give a shout out. We'll do a tease. I do want to send a shout out,
You Obama.
actually, from our supporters. This entire show is sponsored by our super chatters, our Patreons, and our channel members. You can find them at patreon.com/Amy Newman, as well as our channel membership that you could join by just hitting the button below. You'll find all of our channel members listed in the description, as well as our lovely Patreons. Boo. But including people like Oz from the Atheist Network Group. Boom, boom, sending love so much from Oz. You should be checking out youtube.com/the Atheist Network Group. You should also be sending love to a grumpy old Cuss. When we look at these religious claims, they make us go, what the are you even thinking? What are you thinking? 6,000 years? A young Earth? Just please put your science in one bucket and whatever claims that you feel are your opinion are in the other. I would say religion, but religion falls under that. And Diana Smith, sending love to the 51%, who reminds us that, yeah, religion doesn't treat all of the genders, the sexes, equally, as much as they like to think that they're egalitarian. They hate the word patriarchy. Oh my God, burn your hair blue. My God, well, kind of don't be so patriarchal. My goddess, I don't need to burn my bra, but if you really have to make women into chattel. Sending love to Pat Lowinger. Hoping to get to Pat Lowinger back on here for more lovely Talk Skeptics to me. You also, if you're a channel member, a Patreon supporter, you guys all and gals all get Talk Skeptics to me. If you would like, Gizmo and I will produce for you. And sending love to Dale Pastel, who reminds us that we are looking for empirical evidence. That, once again, seems to be the one evidence that is off the table for whatever reason. But, yeah, it would actually be kind of nice if you would just give us empirical, testable, verifiable. Dave Garr reminding us, once again, that there's a thick earth in our heads. A thick earth for us all. And a round one. A round, thick, old earth. Though, don't judge just because she's a cougar. Sending love to Scott Duke. Saw Scott out there. Sending love also to Speed of Sound, and Answers in Atheism. You should be checking out Answers in Atheism. Another amazing atheist content creator. Sending love to Regos. I see Regos all over. He is out there in the YouTubes with the Twitchosphere. I'm actually going to send the Twitchosphere. We're trying to hit 100. If you would like to join our Twitchosphere, I'm sending it to everywhere, including Twitch, because that's how it works. Because we're on, I think, a platform that they used to have a few years ago called Twitter. So if you would like to put that out on there. We're also on Facebook. We're on our YouTube, our home base, as well as I like to think of Twitch as our side base that we are collecting out there, growing. And we're also looking for more mods on Twitch. So if you're looking to help, sending love out there. Sending love to Regis, sending love to the one and only, the amazing, the fabulous, and spectacular Rachel Holland, reminding us that the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, which includes, I guess it is the gospel and the Torah, but the gospel reaffirms it. So it reaffirms slavery. It's the good slavery, though, TM. When we only support the kinky slavery. Sending love to Senator Cato, separation of church and state, more important now than ever, because really you should be supporting secularism. It has your religion in mind, because it's no religion. Sending love to James Wolfe. James Wolfe is the man, the myth, the legend, another fantastic person who actually does what creationists are afraid of, research. Actually goes out into the field. Sending love so much to James Wolfe. Just an amazing guy who sends love right back to us. Sending love to Disciple Day. Sending love to a theist brother out there. Sending so much love. Him and Speed of Sound are the newest on there. Thank you so very much, as well as our newest channel member, sending love to Surgeon and yes, I say you heard that correctly. He doesn't have a name, but he's our supporter. Him too. But also our two very special, really big hugs. It is Ian Davenport. He's another one that's all over and who has just been sending so much love to the atheists because we support ourselves. There is no one else. It's not going to get love from from God or prayers. It's going to happen from us brothers and sisters out there. And so we are just sending so much love. I am trying to find the heart. And all I can find is a mic drop.
Stock accounts, Mark Reid said.
That's right. All we can give is that when it comes to it, Ian Davenport is giving the atheist community a mic drop. Thank you so very much, Ian Davenport. And last but certainly not least, Matt Deeg, reminding us that all you need to do in order to pop a creationist is ask them for a model. That works for an older...
That's not fair, Amy.
Round Earth.
Not fair.
Not fair? Why would I need to have a model for a flat young Earth? Fair. Well, Matt Deeg and the rest of the scientific community would like to either you to put up or shut up, which they won't do, but that's okay.
They won't.
They won't. And all right, we'll get back to it. We're going to go for probably another 30-ish minutes, including the wrap-up. So this is now or your time to get in your burning desire, question, comment, or one-liner, because we are asking me anything or saying something funny. Thanks-Ember.
Thanks-Ember.
That's right. Close enough. But sending love to everyone out there that's still with us. I see Jesse, Michael Smith, Mark Reid, and Flum, and Nick. Nick is on time, in time. On time, in time.
Out of time.
Out of time.
Time
Not
is relative.
Unless you have a fantastic suit. And then time works on...
It's not
right
relevant.
Here. That's right. Rachel is like, oh, well, I mean, she's a patriot. I feel like I should. More men that were also a PSA. More men should be in charge. I feel like that would get rid of a lot of the toxic masculinity out there. That's true. That's true.
Toxic masculinity is what women want. Evolution.
Well, that's just another trigger phrase out there. But like, just because there is a toxic masculinity doesn't mean that there isn't a positive masculinity. In fact, it was, oh my gosh, who was it? It was the Punisher, and it was the actor who plays the Punisher, just talking about how he teaches his children how to be strong. He teaches them self-defense and how to defend themselves, but he also teaches them things like kindness and empathy. He would go over how, like the samurai, yes, they would teach themselves how to be fantastic skills with the sword, but then they would also teach themselves poetry and how to dance. And so that's right, Flum. I think it's good for, we can both have our femdoms where Rachel wants to put them in little cages. And then we need our tough daddies out there who want to be good. You could tell a guy who is secure in their sexuality. They have a humor to them that the uptight fundies just do not possess. That the in-closet, I hate to say weirdos because I like being weird. I mean, it's the normal people who scare me, but just I don't know what to call them. Just the uptight, whatever the hell, the people in the closet who need a good therapist or a good reach around. One of those. But yes, sending so much love to all of our Patreons, all of our super chatters, all of our channel members, all of our subscribers and viewers, you guys, gals, and everything in between are what make this channel possible. But let me get to what I was saying. I think the rules for radicals are powerful. They get made fun. I learned so much, I hate to say, from like I hate to call them conservatives because I actually starting to I value that word now. But the people who really dislike the liberals, and they gave me books to read. One of these is Sal Alinsky's Rule for Radicals, who was a great political organizer. It's kind of what the forebringer before people like Obama. And so they used to also, I'm sure, he may not like that, or a lot of liberals may not, but it's actually a proud title. You should be proud of it. Listen to this book, okay? Listen to these rules. They are amazing, and skeptics should follow them, okay? There's no other way to say it but that. All right. These are the rules for radicals. Number 1. Power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have. I love this rule number 1 because they basically, James and I, at least, you will hear us play with this. They think that we control the West anyway. It's the trannies that control the West. It's me and the people that support me. Obviously, go with it, ladies and gentlemen. Lean into it. Because it is. They literally are fearful of us. Never, number 2, never go outside the expertise of your people. Hear that? You should never go outside your expertise. If you're in a group, do not go outside of their expertise, which pairs itself very well with rule number 3. Whenever possible, go outside the expertise of the enemy. I feel like that's a peanut butter and jelly combo right there. It's basically saying, don't talk about shit you don't know, and always talk about the shit that's in your field that they probably have no idea what you're talking about. Pat, just having a conversation with me, or not with me, with us, about a specific person comes to mind. That's right. Lean with it, baby. Rock with it. Well, they use this, and let's say the term conservative generally refers to something like hyper-nationalism. Bears little resemblance to classic conservatism. I've turned that there's this classical liberalism, this classical conservatism that teams that get linked. I feel like those are somewhere in there is what and so I'm leaning now into both of those labels and trying to just accept what they are and try and go against the radicals that try that. The funny thing is that they call us degenerates. The LGBTQ, minorities and immigrants and all this, women. But it's really a strength. It's the backbone of our societies. It's what makes us strong. It is a sign that we are a healthy society, and we should rock it. Send in love. Agree with what Pookie and James just say. And one was first postulated by Shang-Chi. I believe you are 100% right. I mean, it does sound like these are rules for war. And I have found them so useful. And I hear a bunch of fundamentalists talk about this book with both fear and reverence. And they talk about these books as if every young liberal carries this book in their pocket. Like, I don't hear about this stuff until they don't. But once I learn about it, oh my God. Like, it's amazing. You should be following. I see why they fear it. And why they revere it. Number 4. Oh, what a good rule. Make the enemy live up to its own book of rules. What a great rule.
Great rule.
Don't just let them have the Bible. Are you going to live up to... Are you really stoning as many gays as you think you are? I don't think you are.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Sir. And I can't help it. I mean, it's almost why I bring this entire list up. I'm going to take a sip. It's that good. Thank you. And they've all been good so far. All been better than the 10 Commandments, if you've noticed. We've already written on our napkin. All right. My favorite. They're all good, but my favorite. Rule number 5. Ridicule is man's most potent weapon. There is no defense. It is almost impossible to counter-attack ridicule. Also, it infuriates the opposition, who then react to your advantage. Or as we like to call this rule, why we started this podcast.
Well, I mean, hey, people decry it sometimes, but negative. Why do we see lots of negative political ads? Because they work. Why do we see don't we see more of a, hi, I'm Bob Smith, and this is what I want to do? Because those people tend not to get elected. It's the people who run the nasty, dirty ads who, those are the harder hitting ads. It is what it is. It doesn't matter if you like it or it's how you wish things were. It's the reality that we live in.
But not to also, I agree with you, but not to also bang a dead horse. But there's sometimes we're being logical with people and treating them rationally almost makes you sound insane.
Like a flat
earther. And so the only
which is why
option,
I say that with the flat earther, you have to have at least an edge of condescension. You cannot take them totally seriously, and if they don't like it, tough shit. If they don't like that you're being condescending, too bad. They can get a better belief system. They're idiots. I mean,
and I forget who said this. Laughter and common sense are the same thing at different speeds. Laughter is just common sense dancing, and it's hard to get people to disagree with you when you make them laugh. You'll watch this. I think the best version of this is watch Jon Stewart do any interview on Fox News. My favorite is when he can make the camera crew laugh, because it almost defeats what anything that the person is saying on there. I don't know. It's little subtle things. I really cannot reiterate this enough. Ridicule is man's most potent weapon. I feel this is the strongest as a counter apologist. I think this is what makes a comedian, and it is. I feel like I have two sides to myself. You can't always do it, or else you're an asshole. If someone comes to you genuinely, be genuine with them. But if you have a bad faith interlocutor, if you have someone who's being irrational and there's no way around that hammer, there is no defense. It is almost impossible to counterattack ridicule.
Well,
all right.
I mean, partially it is one of the reasons why so little gets done in terms of politics is because if you're coming out with an idea, it's just so easy, or a new idea, it's very easy to attack. And it, what does he say? Defenses, it's very hard to defend against an onslaught of attacks. That's why things take so long, and there is a political cost to pay, when you do something, and it takes time to adjust to it. After the gay marriage ruling, the first one, that cost the left a lot of votes for a few election cycles. There was a backlash against that. Oh my gosh, the court says gays can get married. It's going to be in all states. Yeah, it cost them a little bit. There was a cost to it. They paid the cost. Now nobody cares about it. It went on, but it
had a long-term win.
There is an immense politics can be heavy lifting, because you don't have to necessarily propose a solution. You could just say that the other side's solution sucks. So do nothing, like they could talk about deficits in the debt. Well, okay, do you have a solution for the debt or the deficit? Well, no, but I don't like what you guys are doing with it. But see, whereas we come from religion, we don't have to do that, because we don't have to propose a solution. We can just sit there and say that, hey, you guys suck. We don't have to tell you exactly where the universe came from or why the laws are the way they are, why anything is the way it is. We could just say, hey, your guys' solution is dumb. Doesn't make sense.
I want to say one last thing on this, and then I will move on. But a good joke always is backed by truth. And so jokes that don't land, it either isn't a truth with your audience, and so maybe your audience just doesn't find it funny, but like millions of other people watching do, or there is no truth in it, and so it doesn't stick. But a truth that makes someone laugh, deadly to their own viewpoint. But yes, number 6, as we James W. and myself are asking me anything or say something funny, we are Thanks-Embering. We'll go for about 15 or 20 more minutes. This is our overtime, but then then we'll be closing shop. So if you have a specific question, comment, or one-liner you want read on screen, feel free to send that in. But we will also keep on sending love. Number 6, because these are all good for any type of organization, political, religious, or otherwise, but I think they apply particularly to the skeptic community. Number 6, a good tactic is one your people enjoy.
Right.
If there is a methodology that is actually working, I'll just right off the bat, the Socratic method. I enjoy the Socratic method. I think a lot of other people enjoy the Socratic method. We should be employing it. But that is also the peanut butter and jelly of this statement. Or I just tried.
Well, it gets your people. It gets your people excited. If a good tactic is what people enjoy, if you're doing it the way people like it and they want it, they're going to want to participate. They're going to want more of it. If you make it just this boring, then you end up having to force people to like the fucking Mormon missionaries. Do they do that? No, they don't do that voluntarily. They're forced to do that. Why do they have to force people? Because it's fucking a waste of time and boring, which is why they have to force people, which is why it's not very effective, because
I worked
still a very small church.
I worked for a Senate campaign. We lost, but I did it for free. Why? Because you want to try and get your person, because you believe in someone, you want them to try and hopefully make a difference.
I've done a lot of campaign work over the years. Yeah, it was a lot of.
There you go. You didn't have to.
Probably for the opposite side, but hey, I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, well, it has nothing to do with that. But they didn't force you to pay 10% to be part of their campaign.
Yeah, no, I did it because at least at the time I believed it was the right side.
That's all that. Yeah. I'm gonna. Well, I'll say this, and then I'll do. I'll give a free tip to anyone out there. Just the tip, okay? They taught us this
the rest
at least while I was in film school, okay? And it applies to any project that you are a leader of, okay? You have a single job as a leader, okay? Beyond just making people follow you. You didn't think you did, but you do, and that is keeping them fed, okay? If you keep people fed, pizza, hoagies, sandwiches, it doesn't matter what you are. You don't keep people fed, they will dissipate. They will look at their clock so
Feed 'em,
fast.
Amy.
Now look, like I said, you can, and I'll take every innuendo as what you can get them on your knees, and Rachel and I will go to town. But make sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask? You had that campaign? Was there food?
Sometimes, yeah. Afterwards, there were events where we would go out to eat afterwards. Yeah.
Is that the only thing that made that event worth it?
I mean, it was kind of fun, but I was.
But that's a
it
big
was
motivator.
It was nice to be able to go and have some chicken wings and sandwiches afterwards. Yeah, it is.
Feed your crew. Doesn't matter what it is.
Like,
especially
going to church services where there was food afterwards was much
big motivator.
It was much easier to sit through that fucking sermon if you're going to get a snack afterwards.
Well, and this is the even bigger asterisk, especially if you're not paying them. If you're not paying them, you better have food. You better. I get that it's it's the best, most powerful cause in life. Add sandwiches. See where it goes. In terms
of the church, if they're paying you, you better feed them.
Yeah, indeed. But yes, I just actually had a peanut butter and Nutella sandwich. So my peanut butter and Nutella here is going to want to make me eat. I'm so hungry now. A good tactic is one your people enjoy is number 6. But number 7, a tactic that drags on too long becomes a drag. Yeah. If you're a presuppositionalist, maybe you should think about a different methodology.
Well, in terms of that, it's not that it's bringing converts on; it's just keeping a few people in the fold. But yeah.
Sending love to Peter in there. We found out before it got uploaded because Pat came in here to vent, but Peter just confirms that it's been uploaded. Is it a Tom Rabbit?
What is that?
That just makes me Pat's thing. It might be. You're gonna hear the clickety clack, clickety clackety clack.
That would be amazing if it was.
Tom Rabbit.
I'm sure.
We're sending a shout out to Tom Rabbit, or if it's not, it must be on something else because his was 8 days right on. It was on someone.
The link.
There's a few guys that do it. Eternal, whatever the fuck. And something mine is up there without being on Tom Rabbit's, but I love Tom Rabbit. He does amazing streams. I've been trying to get ready because I feel sending love to Godless Girl has been trying to get, she's been like, hey, Darth he's on right now, and I have avoided Darth either at least once or twice because I was not in the mood. It was because I think it was both the times I had done streams and I have to Supreme Leader. Yeah, that's the one that I was on too. I forgot my train of thought as soon as that. But oh my, the precepts are a boot. And they are. I need to mentally prepare myself because first I have to I almost have to meditate because I have to come in there because almost the exact opposite. Yes, I agree. So I agree with you. Just in the I have to psych myself down. I have to be like
yourself.
You don't want to get excited. It's not about beating them and all because. What they want to do,
going to win, at least in their mind.
It is it's the tactic of a narcissist. It is something that Smokey did, that Darth does, that many other do. Is that when you're calm, they're angry at you, and they give you the energy that you actually should be angry, and that your calmness is actually a negative. And then when they're calm, they try and push forward that your the calmness that they're giving should be the energy that they have, and that your anger that you have right now just makes you look very silly. And so it's this constant game of trying to get you angry while you're calm, and then being angry while you're calm. It's like, I don't want to do that with the sledgehammer of a lawyer like conversation. That's why that pressure is always on, because they will not let you control the ground with questions. Questions are generally a disarming way to get another person's point of view, but it's really putting them on the battlefield. With a precept, it's put with such an annoying fucking point of voice of tone. Yeah, it's not like, well, why do you believe this? It's, why do you believe this? It's like, okay, I don't even want to.
Like, as I've said before, they get away with that because they're on the receive. They are in their little enclaves, and people come begging to them for a conversation, so they get to turn people away. It's not them coming to other platforms asking to talk to people. It's because they're so notoriously stupid. People want to talk to them just to fuck with them. But
I also, I just have certain things I've been. It sounds like one of those people. It's like, I went to a therapist and now everything's. But I've just been learning things lately that have just opened my mind. Just the 3 methods of power, just of threat, manipulation, and actually having strength. Are, I mean, if he can't mute or ban you, oh my God. So if he can't mute or ban you, that's threat. If he can't have some sort of intimidation, like you're going to make you sound stupid, people are going to judge you, you're just not a serious person. So if it's not that, then they would actually have to have good arguments, and they don't have good arguments, and that is why they don't have actual power.
At some level, they know that. They know that. At a level they probably don't even want to admit to themselves, which is why they are so defensive, which is why they suss people out. Like Mr. Batman, he immediately got rid of it. He saw the identity politics just bouncing right off you. You don't care about it. Very scary for him.
Don't ask me about time. I'm always in time, never on time. Okay, I'm just sending more love to Nick.
Just in the nick of time.
Just in the nick of time. Well, and sending, before I do this, sending love also to the fantastic commander he has had on there, who I have just had a lot of great insights from just listening to people way smarter than I on a lot of these political, almost really historical and military conversations. So it's interesting. But also, Mark Reid, there is a method called the Gray Rock for dealing with narcissists. Have you heard of it? No, but now I want to look at it because I'm just so interested in, like, I've had situations where I've basically I've had such bad experience. They were so bad that I had to Google like what just happened, and multiple times they lead me to guides on how to deal with narcissists, and they're like I hate to say, I don't know what de-victimizing is, but after you understand what they're doing, you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. But it makes me want to look that up. Hold on one second. James, you have anything? Say what? Just
tactic that drags on too long becomes a drag. Yeah, because it loses that freshness. It gets a little stale. People are used to it. The other side develops arguments around it, workarounds, and special ad hoc reasonings.
And I'll finish up 7, then I'll bring them on. So 7, a tactic drag, because if you drag on too long anything, it clearly people are just gonna leave. Stale. I almost don't want to use it as an example. I feel bad because sending love to this person, but there was a specific stream that was just the same thing over and over. You gotta have themes. You gotta have themes, people. But yes, I'm looking at this, and so I'm looking.
All gods, deities.
So a gray people with narcissistic personalities sort of crave attention and making themselves appear like a gray rock is a way to deprive them of reactions they're seeking. Tactic includes limiting emotional responses, avoiding eye contact, and removing yourself from situations whenever possible to do so. Indeed, that is actually pretty fantastic because that is what they crave. And it's hard because, you know, a lot of these people, they get into, within the theistic circles, they, for whatever reason, some of these people get looked up to. But from my perspective, I don't get it. Like, they have literally, like, not to ad hominem, but a lot of them have nothing going for them. Like, as far as I can tell, they are the internet warriors. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, I hate to say it.
Well,
like, once again, maybe James and I, we're just too schmucks. But there are multiple people with actual research. Mark Reid, Pat, James Wolfe, people who actually have fields that are coming on here with knowledge. And in creationist circles, unless it's Sal, everyone else basically is just opinion.
Look at the people they look up to, though. Like people like Smokey and Darth, who refuse to show their face, hide their identity. You know, they put out this persona, they project this image of something that's a lot more grandiose than they actually are. And they're very brash and condescending, and, you know, they talk down to people, but, you know, at the end of the day, they're just
not like our viewers here. Like, I remember when Rebel came in here and lifted for all of us while I was cooking a steak. That was amazing.
For like a good hour, he was cooking that.
I know. Yeah, but he wanted to make sure it was well done. He doesn't. We're talking about fire. Oh my goddess.
Well, Amy, he'll get you well done.
I don't know if Rachel has lasted this long, but she took me out for a steak the other day. I have to say, I did celebrate my birthday on Sunday. I managed to, like, I don't know why I think saying it on Randolph's stream would have ruined it. I guess I didn't. I was self-conscious that, like, of people that draw too much attention to themselves to it. But then I kind of like birthdays and holidays.
Whatever.
I don't know. But this is our stream, James, so I can say it. Boom.
Do it.
I'm older
Rachel's
now.
Out there. Rachel's still up.
Yay.
So what kind of steak
What's up,
did you have?
Slicey Slusher? What's up, Shane the
Was it
Skeptic? And I got a porterhouse. It was fantastic. I love steak. So she gets it medium rare. I get it medium. I'm the I mean, I have to, right? It's quintessential. Listen, someone's got to represent. It was good. It was amazing. Wish I could have had it better. I wish I could have had it again.
I still remember my dad telling me a story of this used to piss him off till like the day he died, when he had went over to my mom's family and he had got this is in the 80s, so he spent like $150 on steak. So that'd be like almost $300 for like the whole family. He gave it to my mom's dad, my grandfather, and he just burnt the fuck out of all of them.
That's like
because they all eat their steaks well done. And he didn't even he spent all that money. He didn't even get one decent steak out of it.
I'm surprised my mom doesn't put ketchup on hers. I think they put A1, but even that now I've weaned myself off of A1. Now I just eat my steak. I have enough chefs looking at me and crying.
You can use A1.
I actually like the taste of A1 because I was raised with it. Like I said, that was one step away from putting ketchup on it.
It's good. I mean, but a good steak, no, you don't need it. But
no, this steak was amazing. They had good bread, had fries, half a salad. It's fantastic.
Some shrimp cocktail. Ooh,
can I tell you, Slicey Slicer, my first public debate ever, I think, was with T-Jump a few years ago now. I would love to do... I'm trying to get debate set up back on Modern Day Debate. I'm modding a debate Coming
Amazing
soon.
debate tomorrow. Yeah.
Which I am just gonna be I'm gonna be as apathetic as I can for, because it's just I'm gonna go politics, don't care, just keep on not caring.
She's their official flirt /
But I love. Not
friend.
only do I love Rachel and I have met T-Jump. Our biggest regret is that we were supposed to take. I guess at least that's what T-Jump says. Is that Rachel and I are supposed to take him out to lunch or breakfast or something, and it was just such a hustle bustle. But Rachel and I, we would have definitely got. We were having a great time. All the atheists
you guys
were having a good time.
Out, huh?
Oh my. He was fun. He's a nice guy, and he has a good sense of humor. And even the theists I met there were good. I say this every time that Prime. Oh my God, that was so funny. Even though I feel bad for James every time, James had to physically pull Alex away in this debate con during Matt's debate. Like had to basically
yank Alex.
Yes.
Wow.
You can't see it on the MDD stream. You can only see it on Alex's stream. But James is like, nope. I mean, he's not like James has a smile and he's like doing it. He's not
manhandling him or throwing.
Not manhandling him, but he's definitely like, okay, Alex, come
redirecting him.
Exactly.
Away from the Dillahunty.
I can't help it because I have like two views with Alex. Is like I can't take him seriously. So like I appreciate the trolling, and yet I can't take. It's that. That was Alex Stein. Yes, it was the Wish version of Alex Jones.
Prime time, Alex Stein, 99.
He's one of those guys that just want to get a lie detector test and ask if he's ever sucked a big old four, but who knows?
He's so like used. He would have a way of like sliming his way out of that. He is like a used car salesman. Like the way he is able to. He speaks with charisma. Like he can redirect conversations. Like that's how.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he is, to use their thing. He is a sophistess. He's
like a used car salesman.
He is a
like, hey, how many miles does it have? And then he retorts with, well, let me tell you about, and then boom, 3 seconds
this
you're talking
baby's
about something completely different. And you never answered the question of how many miles it has, and then 15 minutes later you're forking over the cash, and then you wonder like, oh wait, hey, oh, it has 700,000 miles. And I just paid.
One wheel falls off.
Yeah.
But Slicey Slicer, I just want to send love out there. Is that we were all like this at one time. We were just schmucks in our underwear, listening to Sam Harris and Christopher Hitchens and stuff like this. And so, sending love to you. If you are just a member of the community, feel loved and be one. But if you ever do want to get your hat in the ring. Just listen and enjoy, soak yourself in, and all this stuff, eventually, it becomes second nature. You hear Pascal's wager, you hear the Kalam cosmological argument. There's only so many shticks that they have. What is up? I'll send in love to Perfect, and I see Regis in chat. Good steak doesn't need a one. Hockey pucks. Masquerading as a steak could use it for some moisture. That's right, Regis. That's why I like it medium. I went from
Mr. Amy Newman cannot get wet. Mr. Amy Newman.
Yes, we are like Ben Shapiro's
She will never know what's like to have a child, Mr. Amy Newman, because Mr. Amy Newman cannot get pregnant.
This lady is also, she's just obsessed about that. That's her
avatar or icon is you, like with.
Oh my God, I know. Well, can I tell you why she did that? I love that because first of all, if anyone, I think a lot of the pronouncing. That's what I joked. That was the first thing I said to her. I was like, always nice to have a fan. Is like
at least you're being noticed,
Well, like, I feel like their tactics often probably really grind gears of, I'm sure, a lot of LGBTQ members. And yet that shit just, I don't know
Like
how to say it. It does. Like, can I tell you what the greatest thing about that picture was? Is the first day or so that she took it. No, is the first day or so she took a photo of me. People were like, "Hey, is that you? Do you want to talk? Hey, is that you? Hey, is that you?" And she was like, "Enough asking if that's me. No, that's not me.
I'm not Mr. Amy Newman."
And so she had to draw on the picture so people would stop asking if that was her. That is my best part. Is she literally
not me.
Was like had to pick a pic. She's like, "Look how ugly this thing is," and exactly. And it's like,
hey,
good luck.
You selling pictures? I mean, she's getting hit up.
And so yeah, now she has like the fangs and the all the shit all over it. But I take it, I'm like, do it up, girlfriend, whatever you need. Just like what I say with the pronouns, because they think that the moment that they pronoun me wrong, I feel like they're just going to, like, I'm just gonna fold. Like, oh my God, you called me a sir. Well, how could I dare defend a rabbi coming back from the grave?
Excuse me, sir. What is a woman, sir? What is a woman?
No, that's their other guy. That is the dumbest guy. Please, like, if you
Ben Shapiro, sir. Ben Shapiro has a documentary of "What Is a Woman" out.
I know.
You should go watch Ben Shapiro.
TikToks and all of this thing. Listen, if you get your biology anywhere adjacent from a story of a talking snake and apples, I don't want to hear your views on biology.
Excuse me, sir. I looked up woman in the dictionary. You know what I didn't see? I didn't see a picture of a penis, sir.
That's right. I didn't see Adam and Steve.
I see pictures of penises in my gallery from my phone.
I see pictures of penises all the time. Lots of
penis pictures there, but I didn't see that in the dictionary next to woman, sir.
I know. Mark, basically, the moment they misgender us, I feel like atheism is checkmate, right? That's how that...
Like, what is a woman? Like, you're like, wait, you like sit there for a second, like... Whoa. I guess I'm just saying I'm a woman, but I'm not really a woman. That's what it is.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God.
I'm just crazy. I am
James.
Delusion that I've created in my mind.
I don't think I could be transgender anymore. I've never heard that before. No one has ever come to me and said, "What's a woman?"
No, blows you away. I mean, hey, it's kind of like the atheists who are like, they've been an atheist for years, and then someone comes along. Okay, if there's no God, then why is there something rather than nothing? And they're like, whoa, really? I never thought about that before. I guess since there is something, there has to be a God then. Otherwise, there would be nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And nothing from... You atheists believe of something from nothing. No, we never use the word nothing. But I just want to say we'll just...
be a nothing.
Why don't you just call the color orange light brown? I don't know, but I will say you use lovely fall colors tonight. But we are reading. I just want to read these because we're in overtime.
We're about ready to wrap up. Yeah.
Yes. And so, in fact, a tactic that drags on too long becomes a drag. But this is important. I first learned about this in my early days of debating. I went on a talk show. There's a very specific, I don't remember what the subject was. I just remember all the feedback was basically like, you had great points, but you got to keep the pressure on. Right. In fact, that's why I like writing things down, is that if they don't answer you, if they don't give you a real answer, don't keep on bringing it up if they give you an answer and you just don't like the way they say it. But if they evade you, if they avoid it, Always go back to it. Well, a tactic I always like that seems to work. It's harder because it really is like an offensive defensive. Is that, if like a pre-sup or someone that's really going to send you a question with literally every statement, answer it, and then end it with whatever your question is. Legitimately answer it, but always go back. Always get your question out.
They won't address it. Because the questions are designed gotcha questions on their end.
Exactly. But that does two things. It shows that you will always, or at least as best to your ability, answer your point of view, and that you're always going to keep on keeping the pressure on. You're not going to just let up. You're not going to be a flat balloon. Here we go. Number 9. The threat is usually more terrifying than the thing itself. I like to use this when thinking of narratives. Because that is a word you will often hear from, I guess, the people that dislike us. But oftentimes they have narratives. So they are trying to indoctrinate your children with being gay. So that's not true. None of that is true. But the threat of it,
it's a narrative.
Highly useful. It is highly filled with fear. And we should all be aware that generally speaking, we should tease them that liberalism is the end of the world. But it's not. Liberalism is actually all those movies where it turns out that coming together and working as one unit and sharing and being empathetic and working out your differences with others. Yeah, it turns out those values are kind of awesome and they make you a decent human being.
The Bible says is bad.
Yeah. But yes,
the God at the Tower of Babel.
Oh God, Tower of Babel, hell. Right. By the way, the threat usually more terrifying than the thing itself. All sorts of things can fit into this.
They're compensating for their lack of evidence by making the penalty for being wrong just so unimaginably horrible that people will say, hey, I mean, even if there's a trillionth of % chance that it's true, I don't want to risk it. Let me just stay in the religion. And that's what a lot of people do. Pascal's wager.
I agree. Moving on. Number 9, the major premise for tactics is the development of operations that will maintain a constant pressure upon the opposition. That is not only why us, but why I think we need a motivated, active, skeptical community. There's no other way to say it. We often get flack that we are just evangelicals in the opposite direction. They're right.
Why are you guys doing this? Why are you guys putting these videos out? Why are you guys trying to convince people that their religion's not true? If you don't believe it, fine. But why make a big deal about it? Why are you guys putting these videos out?
Because it actually matters. If it wasn't for us and all the other amazing, I just saw Atheist Jr. with all of our heroes. He was with Aaron Raw and Matt Dillahunty. Amazing stream. Woo! This is what we need. That's who all of us. We are coming together, as Peter was saying right now. Under me. Wait, no.
The pressure up on this bullshit because they're not stopping. The theists,
right.
They are not stopping. They are continuing to pump out their bullshit. They
just
don't want it to be. They just don't want there to be another side to it. They just want their message to be the only one out there. And
we are merchants of doubt. Number 11, if you push a negative hard and deep enough, it will break through into its counter side. This is based on the principle that every positive has its negative. I can think of the next few rules kind of wrapping together very much on how to deal with things like slavery, which I can already see coming down here, is that you should either be taking its counter side, or you should be taking it as a truth and taking it to an absurd notion. Because, wouldn't you want to be my slave biblically? I think so. And number 12, the price of a successful attack is a constructive alternative. Holy moly. Yeah. Can we see where this is useful?
And that's
because right now, there is no alternative to religion. They were the only game in town. And so if you're looking for a community, if you're looking for a works program to do good, to help the homeless, and to just go out there and play cards and get drunk with someone, a lot of times you find this with people of your own faith. What do? We are a constructive alternative.
Well, it's that, and I mean politically, I think it's talking about the danger of half measures. When the American revolutionaries, they had a mantra: there was no taxation without representation, and it caught on. The people agreed with it, and when they sent their people over to Britain to negotiate, they were under strict orders: do not come to a fucking deal. Because why? Why would they not want to come to a deal? Because how easy would it be for the UK to say, okay, oh, you want representation? Well, we'll give you guys 10 seats in Parliament. You can be represented. Everybody's happy and go home. And then, okay, we now have representation, but the Parliament can still pass whatever they want to pass over that. And we pay whatever taxes they say. But we don't have the argument because he can say, hey, you guys are represented. You guys lost the vote. So that's like the danger of political half measures. If you have a great political issue, the danger of losing it to a compromise or a half measure. Anyway.
Couldn't agree more. No. Don't mind my jokes at the end. I agree with almost everything that you've been saying. Our final thing.
Go ahead.
No, keep on saying it. I'm just going to put this up while we're getting. This will be our last one, and then we're going to wrap up for the night.
I had to take a dig at Obama. Like, that's why we won't have universal health care in America, because he did a half measure. He did his.
Obamacare, you're almost coming at it from the other way. You want it even more liberal.
Way, yeah. No,
sure. Well,
because he said, well, don't worry, we'll keep the insurance companies, we'll keep the for-profit system, we'll just make it suck a little less. And then what you do in that case is you take some of like the need for the reform off, because hey, it sucks a little less. So there's not like that urgency to change the system, right?
So because I am the quintessential moderate, I see it both sides. In that, one, I think that the site actually does work. I know they try and sabotage it. It's actually a good system that everything is in one thing. You can see multiple things. It actually is hooked up to the government, so that if you have Medicare and Medicaid, a lot of times it's extremely easy to work through it. It has cheap insurance depending on your thing. But that being said, there are definitely
cheap insurance, because
a lot of people.
The Obamacare plan was
Well, hold on.
At
least let me.
Go ahead.
The other thing is that, but that doesn't mean that there's not a ton of people that are left out within all of the holes, and that yes, I would rather us just take profit out of health insurance. I think you should allow for profit, but I think we should always have the public option, and the public option that should be so good that the private better be friggin' amazing. But I'll let for them to decide that. But say whatever you want, but then let's wrap if you want, but then let's wrap, because
sorry. No, their model with that was, we'll make it, because I mean it was catered to young single adults, so you can stay on your parents' policy till you're 26. But the thing is, as soon as you add a spout, and then even once you get off that, the single policies are cheap. But as soon as you add a child or spouse, they get to charge you literally whatever they want. So basically, it just shifted the cost from the single young people to those with families and those with who are married and have their spouse on the plan.
It fixed some problems. It opened up others.
Well,
it didn't fix others. But I will say that's why we should fix it.
It changed
still can.
Who's getting screwed. They're screwing the people who vote for them less than the people they think are not going to vote for them, and it's politics. That is what it is. That's the nature of the beast.
I was gonna say we could probably go on healthcare and all sorts of things, but I just want to go. Well, first of all, that James Wolfe reminds us that just went for a half an hour run and you're still rolling. You can't help it. I know. Sending that love so much because there's just so much goodness packed into all these theological arguments. But actually, this has been has this not been like one of the best, most useful? I'm not taking credit for it.
It certainly gives you some things to think about.
But it's just funny because it came from people. I learned about it from people who apparently hate this guy, hate these rules, hate everything that the liberals and everything stand about.
Because it works. That's if they hate it, it's because it works. And the arc of
Covenant.
The hardcore conservatives have lost almost every cultural battle they've ever waged.
Indeed,
one by one, they've lost every single one of them, and their playbook it sucks. Basically, they don't do politics well. They don't really have anything to offer anybody. They don't really have anything to sell, which is why they have to offer you things like that you get after you die. Yeah, you get it after you die. I mean, what great offer is that? And a lot of fewer people are willing to say, yeah, let me just screw up my entire life here, hoping that I get something good after I die. No, go fuck yourself. And go fuck your Jesus too.
And the last but not least, pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. Now, I was going to bring up slavery. I think slavery is a great option. To bring up just my own personal thing, to personalize it, I like to use my epilepsy. My epilepsy has been a cornerstone of my tying consciousness to the physical realm. And it always, for better or for worse, it seems to straighten people's back up because it's a semi-serious, thing. And so to me, that's useful. It sucks I have it, but it's given me such a clarity when dealing with such woo that would try to make a mystical experience out of consciousness when the ER is like, oh no, we know when someone's conscious or not. Oh, we deal with that all the fucking time. Get some scrubs on. We'll fine.
Because the fact that it opens up the possibility for non-physical, because it's non-physical.
Sure.
That for them, it opens up hey, our God is not physical too. So, boom, consciousness exists. Therefore, maybe God exists. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
But I've just been really proud. I think the atheist skeptic community is starting to wake up to some buzzwords. There's really good
pushing back on their talking
talking points that deal with quantum mechanics or even just entropy, on
their buzzwords,
on abiogenesis from the biology people,
codons.
And then
push back against them codons.
Did you know that DNA is a language, and that from that
actual data, literal language, literal data. It's a literal code.
Literally.
Literally, it is a literal code, and I am, of course, speaking literally. Literally speaking, not
It
metaphorically.
is a literal code. It is literally a literal code, and I'm speaking metaphorically. But that's it.
Little
Totally. What's up, Doc Fearsome, Peebo, Zellini? Thank you for hanging with us, Michael, and Perfect, and Flum, and James Wolfe, and Hillary's emails, and Christian, Norfolk, and Marshall, and that's right. But I think we
sex with God, so
my goodness,
we excuse him for his absence. Infinite
God
infinite in size.
Order now. But yes, we were reading Rules for Radicals, a fantastic book you should check out, but those were the rules. I think just going over them is useful for skeptics.
Certainly worth taking a look at, considering a lot of them do make a lot of sense.
It is just, I have sometimes can I tell you what drives people, the like KGV and others cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, is comedy. And so it's what drives Darth. It's what drives all these people. The only person that has a little bit of immunity to it is Kent, because Kent has a little bit of comedy, dad joke in him. Yes,
or
but
it doesn't, he just doesn't respond to it.
Well, I mean, he's a horrible human being for other reasons, but if there's, I don't know what it is. These apologists are so uptight that
Cindy, I believe, has a court date tomorrow about Kent's violations of the protection order. I posted she was trying to raise money for an attorney to be represented at that hearing by an attorney because she's not an attorney, and trying to navigate these areas of law, it can be a little tricky for people who are not lawyers, and like most of us. But because Kent, not only does he go to her property or what was her property, and he sends his goons to with orders to vandalize and steal shit from the property that was hers, just to mess with her, which he would, you'd say, oh, Ken Hovind would never do that. No, we have him on video. We have him on audio recording, throwing out the possibility of doing that to his son, Eric Hovind, sending people to his old dinosaur adventure land to wreck the place because they're not playing ball with him because he's a con artist. And they know that more than anybody else. They're in the same family with him. They know he's a con artist. And but anyway, hopefully Cindy will get some type of relief tomorrow with that. I made a small I mean, obviously we're not rich, but I did throw in a small contribution to the thing. But yeah.
I also
hopefully
want to
Kent's
send
conviction is upheld. Yeah, it's been a long time. Hopefully, yeah.
Well, I also just want to send out. This will be my final thing for the night.
The danger of that is, like the first trial, he had a bench trial, and the difference is these judges see these people all the time. They're a lot better at pulling out and seeing a bullshitter for what he is than people on the jury who have never dealt with any of this shit before. So hopefully they are able to get some intelligent people on there who, are not biased. A lot of people, hey, this guy's a preacher. And in our society, Christianity is the ultimate virtue signal. It is like the ultimate thing. Go ahead.
And so I'm sending love both to Cindy, who I have now pinned in stream, and I also want to do actually one final
shout out.
I guess ad, because I just want to send love out there because I have a Fiverr. I've already had one client out there who I've worked with. But if you would also like to help launch, build, or monetize your podcast, you can head out there in that link, and I'll also help you. I'll help you do that. Do. Had a guy who was trying to set up basically type of Hawaiian spiritual podcast, and I helped him set it up. So I don't care. I don't know if he was even a theist, but he seemed like a sweet guy. I would be up to hoping atheist or theist, but I am here to help you if you want to both launch it, if you would like to build as in gain more members organically, because I don't do any of the, you got to build a community, or monetize, because that's also an important step. So reach out. I'm at Fiverr at Amy Rose Newman, and
I thought that was Amy Rosen Uman.
Oh my. That too.
Because it's the same.
Da-da-da-da. Yeah, basically.
Amy Rosen Uman.
Rosen Uman. And I got packages for you as well if you just need a consultation or you need supplies.
Kent would do if he was locked up for a month like they originally did. Like does it be just lonely Matt Powell doing the streams over there?
Oh, he'd have a picture of Matt Powell
inconsolable without his daddy there, you know.
Daddy. Yeah. But sending love also to what? Big Bad Mama. Hopefully Ken's conviction is upheld. Yeah. Isn't that set pronounced Feva? Probably. As in $5. Maybe. That might be. Amy Rosenfaden. Yes. Whenever I think about him now, I always think of the Adam Sandler movie where he's in a French maid's outfit getting pineapple shoved up his...
Who?
And anyway, that's one of the time. Little Nicky.
No, but when you think of who?
Oh, that's that German guy who shouts at the mustache. But yeah, we're actually getting so much love out there. I'm sending love to all of our subscribers, viewers, and supporters. But James, any last words?
So you're modding a debate tomorrow.
I am
for about when we'll be back later in the week. I imagine we'll be due for a Bible study coming up.
We are.
The Book of Joshua is coming up. Where we did our episode 1 for Joshua. We'll crank into episode 2 probably later in the week. Yeah, Hugo Boss, they had brought him in to design the uniforms, so they at least had fashion sense. Not much other sense though, but anyway, yeah.
And okay. Thank you so very much, James W. I think this was
Doc,
another. Oh my! I was just gonna say, I just imagine that, like, if Kent goes to jail, he's just gonna have like a picture of Matt Powell in drag, like
up in a
there.
Tutu.
Yeah. Just all night wishing he can get back to his little lass. But yeah, we hope that you all had a fun time on this episode of Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny, the show where we ask us anything or say something funny. The chance where our supporters got to send us comments or their best one-liners, as well as all of the fun from our super chatters, our channel members, our Patreon supporters, and of course subscribers and viewers like you for this Thanks-Ember, where James and I sat around table for a good time, along with all the people who are in chat, Twitch and YouTube, our awesome mods who make this stream so great, and lovely viewers like you who make this channel even possible. If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe. If you have a podcast out there, if you enjoy Spotify, let me know, because I think we're going on Spotify, a whole bunch of other podcasting platforms. So look out there. But also you can hit that bell icon, and when set to all, we'll give you reminders to send our reminders of premieres. We're going to be Rachel and I are going to be hitting the street again for more interviews, as well as a whole bunch. I'm about to release, hopefully I beat James Cameron in releasing my Avatar creative and comical, the episode 1 on just mythic structure and story writing, and our live streams like the one that you just saw. Or hey, why not leave a comment once the video is done? You can also join our channel members, the link of which is in that join button, along with all the channel members we listed below. The link is also of our Skeptic Interacting Discord server with all of our fantastic channel members right below them. Lastly, the best way to make even more I'm being redundantly redundant.
She is.
Best way to help us, I got a dot every
X.
X.
Can't get enough of it.
Is to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman, sending love to Disciple Day and Speed of Sound, and Surgeon, who just joined channel membership. I am Amy Newman, and we will see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z. Good night. Mwah.
Thank you.